like here are 3 drills to help you improve your balance through the pole of either the snatch or the clean. First of all, before we get into like drills and skills and things like that, we have to understand something conceptually. Our goal is to move the bar up. We do that by pushing straight down. If we push backwards or forwards, then the bar will go backwards or forwards. So any adjustment in torso angle, shin angle, position of the hip is not to manipulate yourself around the bar. It's to help improve your ability to push down and generate force downward. Oftentimes, these subtle changes in torso, hip, shin angle are very, very subtle and cannot come at the cost of continued downward force. So just keep that in mind. As you're playing around with yourself and figuring out where your body is in space, you cannot ease up on the intent of pushing down in order to make the bar go up. So the first thing that I like to do is 1, figure out the start position. And most of the time, if you're having a hard time being too far back in the heels throughout the latter part of the pull, is that you're probably starting a little bit too far back. So I encourage athletes to find their forefoot a little bit more. So once you get set up, we want really nice tight upper back. The quads should be loaded. And again, I'm feeling forefoot just because I don't want to be back here. This is all in my heel. My angles haven't changed that much. But this, I can press through my whole foot. So just getting a little bit more feel for the forefoot can be really helpful. And the first drill that we would do here is just a little partial lift off. And that can be just an inch. It can go to the knee. It just kind of depends on where you need to troubleshoot. But again, when I do this, I'm pushing straight down with my legs and trying to bring my torso and my hips up together. So hips and shoulders are going to rise together. So that's number 1, is a lift off. My second favorite drill or technique to help work balance is actually low blocks for this. Oftentimes that balance shift happens somewhere around the knee as the athlete's trying to navigate how they move their shins and their knees back and relative and where the chest is and all this stuff. Okay, so if we just put you there and then figure out where your balance is, it can help really clarify that. Remember, all of this is just about refining motor learning and eliminating variables to enhance learning. So if going from the ground to the knee is a sticking point, you train that separately. If going around the knee is a sticking point, then you train that separately. So I can set up my low blocks just below the knee, and I can work a full lift from here, sure, but I can also just work the transition to mid-upper thigh. And again, I can just feel for balance and whole foot pushing through the ground and get a sense of where my legs are. And then my third favorite exercise is, once you've identified if it's a motor learning issue, right, if the athlete just kind of needs to figure out what the heck they're doing, if it's a strength deficiency where they're shifting backwards because they lack some of the upper, mid-back, and lat strength to hold their mid-foot position while maintaining the torso angle, right, oftentimes you'll see that look like they get to around the knee and they either shift back because it's easier to hold here, or their hips start to pull under because this is also easier to hold on the hamstrings. Then we need to do some isolated positional work. And that can look like pauses. You could do really heavy lift-offs, holding this position in the right spot. But I like something super simple that's a great introductory point, like a band and a PVC pipe around a rack. Find your grip of choice, boom. Work on keeping it tight towards you. And then you're going to come forward to that trouble zone wherever you kind of feel like your balance starts to get stuck and shift, and you're just going to hold. And again, the challenge will be staying right in the middle of the foot and feeling the hamstrings work and feeling the lats work. And then as you stand up, practice pushing straight down and bringing the bar with you, right? I'm just picking my chest up, standing up, bringing my imaginary barbell with me. Give those a shot. Let me know how they go. If you have more questions on technique, hit them over.